ओम सच्चिदानंद परब्रह्मा पुरुषोत्तमा परमात्मा श्री भगवती समेत श्री भगवते नमः. The one who is all, who is in whom is all, may bless us to be successful, happy, peaceful and prosperous. Dear devotees, today I am going to discuss about the power of the divine free will, which is enshrined and given to every human being, though many of us do not recognize its powers. People think fate is more powerful, but Vedas repeatedly say fate is not something engraved on a stone. Before the free will, fate will melt. But people are finding it difficult to understand this concept. In many lectures, I have been underscoring this. Today, we are going to discuss a Puranic story which brought out this fact very, very powerfully. That is a story of Satyavan Savithri. Though this story is known to all the people in its Puranic way, its esoteric and scientific significance has not been understood. So, we will now discuss what is the esoteric, philosophical and scientific significance of this story and how this story is very relevant for our life. So first let us take what is the story itself. Let us first discuss the story as it is told. There was a king by name Ashwapati who was a very powerful, genuine, honest and justiciable king who was liked by all his citizens. He was loved by everyone because the way he was rendering justice to the people and also managing the affairs of the country. But he did not have a child. So he prayed to Goddess Savithri. He conducted a continuous yajna, tapas and austerity to the Goddess Savithri. And this continued for 18 years. At the end of this, Lord Savithri appeared before him, asked him what he wants. He said that I want a good son. Savithri immediately consulted Brahma and then told Ashwapati that I am happy to give you a boon that you will have a progeny, but it will be a daughter. But that daughter will be as good as a son because she will be as wise as I am. He was very pleased. And in time, his wife delivered a child who was so beautiful, lustrous, and shining and glowing like a fire. And the child grew up and she attained the age of marriage. She was very beautiful and she was glowing. Her luster was like a glowing sun. Because of that great illuminous stature of her, many princes did not come forward to marry her. The king waited for quite some time, but nobody came forward because of their inferiority complex over the luster of Savithri. So then the king advised Savithri, my dear daughter, now it is time for your marriage. As a father, as it is my duty to get you married, and as permitted in our systems, you can choose your own groom. You may go around and find a good match for you, and whomsoever you are choosing, I will approve it. Hearing this, Savithri set out on a pilgrimage along with her friends. She went through many states and saw many people, many princes in her journey, but nobody was to her liking. At last she came to a forest, and there he saw a person who was cutting the woods. While on the face of the situation, he looked like a woodcutter, but when she probed internally that person, she realized that he cannot be a woodcutter. He looks like a prince from a very royal heritage, and also he liked him at the very sight. Therefore, she went near him and told him, my dear young man, you are doing the woodcutting, but you look like a prince. So can you tell me who you are? The prince said, my name is Satyavan. You are right. I am a prince, but in exile. My father is an exiled king, and he is also blind. So I am doing all these works in order to maintain us. And he also, after seeing Savithri, he felt very much for her, but he knew that she is a princess, and he was hesitatingly asking her who you are. Savithri told her background. Then Satyavan hesitatingly asked her that somehow I have a liking for you. If you have a liking, you have to tell me. Savithri said that definitely I like you a lot, and they both exchanged pleasantries of their mutual love. Then Savithri said, let me go and take permission from my father, and then he will come as per the system and custom to your father and seek his permission. Accordingly, Savithri returned and met his father, and father was very happy that Savithri has come back. He asked her about the journey, and as they were talking, Narada also came into the palace. So then the king asked, in the presence of Narada, Savithri, were you able to find your partner, life partner? Savithri said, yes, I was able to. In fact, I wanted to talk to you on that. He said, yeah, please tell me. I am happy that you have found a life partner. Savithri said that he is in a forest doing wood cutting. That is because his father is a king but in exile. But I like him a lot. From my inside, I feel we will live very happily. On hearing this, while the king was happy, Narada asked that what is the name of that boy and what is the name of the king? Savithri said his name is Satyavan and his father is Dimatsena, and because in a war he was defeated, his father is living in the forest in exile and he is also blind. Narada said, Satyavan is a very good person, very good soul, but there is one little problem, my child. Savitri's father was very worried. He asked, Rishi, what is the problem? Narada said that Satyavan has a curse through his father. That is a curse on his father which is befalling on him, that Satyavan will die in 1 year after marriage. Therefore, this is not a good decision or a suggestion to proceed with. So, Savitri's father said, in the light of this, my dear, would you like to really proceed with this? Savitri said, I am not changing my opinion because of this curse, because I know that our life will be good. And if for some reason, even if it is going to be for only 1 year, it doesn't matter to me. And a person can give her heart, a lady can give her heart only once to a person. He cannot give it to one more person for a second time. So mentally I am married to him. Therefore I don't want to change the opinion. Dharma also says that mental marriage is more important than anything else. So I am very confident that we will have a good life. You don't worry, Daddy. Narada said that please reconsider the decision. She told Narada, Muniji, as I told you, my internal intuition clearly says that I will be able to manage. Narada knew that she is a girl of great divine wisdom and divine will and determination. Therefore, he said, I bless you that you succeed in your mission. He told the king, Ashwapati, that don't worry, knowing her capacity and her divine will and determination, I am sure something good will come out of it. So let us bless her. Then the king with his retinue went and met Satyavan's father. The marriage was settled and they were married. And they were living very happily in that forest. Savitri was taking care of her in-laws, the blind in-laws, and taking care of her husband also. She was having a very good life. But during this entire 1 year period, as she has been doing before, she was constantly meditating on the Parabrahman, the divine energy, in the form of Lord Savitri, praying for enhancement of our internal energies to meet the D-Day when it comes. And 1 year passed, and it was 4 days left for the completion of 1 year, and she undertook a complete austerity and tapas of not taking any food or not even taking water. This curse of Satyavan was not known to Satyavan or his father. So they were quite surprised and worried why Savitri is undertaking this tapas. But she told her in-laws that kindly permit me for doing these things. I am doing it for our welfare. And 3 days she observed complete tapasya. And on the appointed day, 4th day, she went and prayed to the Almighty and also prayed to her father-in-law and mother-in-law and requested to permit her to go along with Satyavan that day to the forest. The father-in-law felt strange, but then he thought to himself, in this 1 year Savitri has not requested for anything, so there must be some valid reason why she is asking. So he blessed her. Satyavan was also surprised, but then he was happy that Savitri is going to be with him for the day, throughout the day. So they both ventured into the forest. As usual, Satyavan was doing the wood cutting, and somewhere in the middle of the day, Satyavan started feeling tired. And then he came near Savitri and told her that I am feeling exhausted, I am feeling very tired. Savitri, knowing the whole thing, asked him to lie on her lap. And slowly he was getting worn out. As it is happening, he saw a dark image somewhere around, and she could realize that it is the Yama's servants. So she asked, who is that? The reply came, I am Lord Yama. Savitri was surprised that Yama himself has come. Savitri requested, I am Savitri, his wife. So why don't you make yourself visible to me? So Yama appeared. Savitri asked, normally you will send only your messengers. Why you have come yourself? Yama said that Satyavan is embodiment of truth, and for him I have to come in person. That is the Veda's declaration. When we are going to take the life out of realized soul, we have to follow certain procedures. Therefore, I have come. While he was saying it, Savitri requested, please don't do that. Please release him. Yama said that I can't do that because this is as ordained. Savitri said, there has to be a way out for every problem. So you tell me the solution, I will follow that. Yama said, for these things there is no solution. But still saying so, Yama was not able to lay his hand on Satyavan because in the bright divine power of Savitri, his noose could not travel up to Satyavan. So the power of Savitri was still protecting Satyavan from the noose of Lord Yama. Then Lord Yama did not know what to do. He then thought that I have to carry out my duty. At the same time, I am finding Savitri as a very powerful divine soul. Now what should I do? Then he thought the only way is to somehow have her out of the picture. Therefore, he requested Savitri that he is thirsty and he wants to have a cup of water. Savitri thought that leaving Satyavan alone may not be a good decision, but at the same time, she realized that it is the duty or dharma of her to offer water when Lord Yama has asked for it. So he left Satyavan there and went to fetch a glass of water. As she came back, she found only Satyavan's dead body. So she realized that Yama has extracted the soul and left. Immediately, she visualized through her yogic vision, where is Yama going? And immediately using the same yogic vision, started following and soon caught up with Yama. Yama was surprised that Savithri is following her. She asked Savithri that, why are you following me? You are not supposed to do this. Savithri said, the Dharma says that a wife has to be there wherever the husband is. That is why Sita traveled with Rama to the forest. I am also doing the same thing. What is wrong with that? Yama was really thrilled with this answer. He said that I am so delighted that you are giving an answer like this. But in the back of the mind of Yama, he was already having guilty consciousness that he has played a trick on Savithri by asking her to get a glass of water and in between having extracted Satyavan's life. So, as a part of atonement, he thought he will offer a boon to Savithri. So he said to Savithri, I am quite delighted about your honoring the Dharma, including giving me a cup of water or attempting to give me a cup of water. So I am giving you a boon. Please ask for anything you want, excepting the life of Satyavan. Savithri said, my father-in-law is blind. At this old age, he is finding it very difficult. I want his vision restored. Yama granted. Then Yama continued with the journey, and he found again Savithri is continuing to travel with him. Yama felt that normally human beings cannot travel with him for this long unto these areas. How Savithri is still traveling? In his yogic vision, he found that Savithri is not an ordinary soul. She is a divine soul. That is why she is able to travel with him this long. So he asked Savithri, go back now, why do you still coming along with me? Savithri said that I have known and I have heard you as man of great justice. That is why you are called Yama Dharmaraja. I was wondering that how you are able to administer justice to billions of people. Now, since I have met you in person now, I wanted to ask you this. What is the secret of rendering such a clear justice without any bias? Yama was again pleased with her intelligence. He said, I am just following the Vedas. Vedas have given all the rules and regulations and all the eternal laws. I am just following it. And he said that I am pleased with you and you can ask one more boon, but again it can't be Satyavan's life. Savithri said, I want my father-in-law to regain his lost kingdom. Because he is a good man, but he has been defeated, I want his kingdom to be regained. Yama said that it is granted. So with that, Yama thought he will not come and he was going forward. But to his surprise, he found Savithri is still following him. He asked Savithri, my dear daughter, why are you still doing this? Savithri said that to be in the company of good people is the greatest thing that can happen to a person. That to a person like you, who is the embodiment of Dharma. Therefore, I take is a great opportunity to be with you for some more time. Who will miss this opportunity? And she was continuing to travel. Yama was again surprised at the wisdom of her, how clearly she is articulating and how she has clearly understood everything. And he said to himself, she deserves another boon. He told her, you can ask for a boon, which I will give you. She said, I want to live happily with my grandsons. Yama said, sure, I give that boon to you. You can live with your grandsons. Then Yama still continued with the journey, and Savithri also continued with the journey. And Yama again asked, I have given you all the boons, then why are you still coming with me? Savithri said that I want to just learn one thing from you, which is I am aware of the ultimate truth that this universe is filled with the supreme energy of the Parabrahman, whether in you or in you, me or everything. And I also know the methods of trying and reaching it. I am also doing the sadhana. I want to realize it in this life, that Parabrahman. I know that you have taught this Vidya to Nachiketas, this Atma Sadhana. I want to learn from you or hear from you once that Atma Sadhana in brief. Yama said, quite astonishingly, thinking in his mind, what is the clarity of her thought in her mind, that how she is really a realized soul, Brahmavit, that she is far better even than Nachiketas. So he said, you already know everything. When you can propound so much all the principles of the Brahma Vidya, and I grant you, and I am sure you will realize the Parabrahman in this life itself. But I am quite delighted that you traveled with me for this long. But you should not proceed with me any further. I will give you one last and final boon. You ask for it. Savithri asked and said that I need only one boon to live the balance of my life in a dharmic way. You have to just give me that boon. Yama said, granted. But then you are already living a completely dharmic life. Why new boon now? She said that now in the changed circumstance, I need your boon to live a dharmic life. He said, I grant you that. But still I am curious, what is the purpose of this boon you have asked for? What is the logic and reason behind it? Savithri said that by the third boon, you have given me a boon to live happily with my grandsons. But for implementing that, I need to have legitimate children. And for that, I need my husband. Without a legally wedded husband, how can a lady can have dharmic children? If I get a child otherwise than through my wedded husband, it will be adharmic. That is why I wanted this boon to live a dharmic life henceforth. Therefore, if I have to live a dharmic life, you know what I want. Yamadharmaraja was quite stunned and surprised that what is the clarity with which she is asking. And he knew that she deserves Satyavan. She told her, in essence, you are asking for Satyavan's life back. As per the normal system, the fate is the final thing. That is what people think. But as Vedas have declared, the fate has no stand against a person of divine wisdom and divine will. If, as you say, I am epitome of dharma, you are epitome of divine wisdom and divine will. Therefore, no fate can bind you. Therefore, as approved by the Vedas, I release the soul of Satyavan and he will be brought back to life. I give Satyavan's life back to you. You go and live happily. Like you are happy to have traveled with me, I am happy to have traveled with you and have met such a realized soul like you. With that, Savitri thanked Lord Yama and returned to the forest and found her husband alive there. He woke up as if from the sleep. She did not explain what all happened, and they went back. And Satyavan's father regained his vision and his kingdom, and they had many children and lived very happily. And Ashupati was very happy. Narada appeared and told that, as I told you, it is a establishment for certain facts, certain concepts. That is why the nature has played this, and this clearly establishes Savitri is an epitome of divine will. That is what is demonstrated, and I am very happy that these things have happened and turned out like this. And let it be a moral and example for the humanity to come at how a human will, divine will, can overcome all obstacles, including the so-called fate. Now, this story, without all these extra explanations I have offered, is known to the people that Savitri fought with Yama and got his life back, etc., etc. But what is the true import of this story has not been explained. That is what I have tried to explain. Story along with this esoteric contents. Now, what this story brings out? Ashwapati, as the name itself stands for, means Ashwa means horses, but in relation to a human being, it means the vital forces. He was the king of the vital forces. That means he is a very divine, capable person, but still he did not have a child. He prayed of all goddesses to Savitri. Savitri is the ultimate power god. She is the illuminous body that illumines the sun itself. Sun we all know, but behind the sun, which is giving power to the sun, is Savitur. That is why in the great Gayatri mantra, the mantra says, Om Tat Savitur Varenyam. That Savitur is Savitri. So Savitri is the goddess who is the power behind the sun himself, the truth of the truth. And she blesses a child to be born, and Savitri is born, and she is properly named as Savitri. Savitri is wise with determination and divine will, and with divine knowledge, and with divine practices. And she finds Satyavan, as the name himself says, he is a divine soul, Satyavan. And then she establishes her intelligence, intellect, intuition, and willpower to none other than Lord Yama, who is the embodiment of Dharma. And using her divine will, she has brought back the dead husband. She has overcome the mortality. If somebody can overcome the mortality through divine will, what cannot be done by a human being? This is what is being communicated by this story. That is why Aurobindo wrote the epic Savitri in 700 stanzas, and which is recited as mantra. Actually, Savitri Katha is a mantra. If somebody understands the real significance and importance of the Savitri Katha and practices the divine sadhana, he can enhance his divine energies. How Savitri achieved this? She realized, first she understood what is the ultimate reality. Second, she practiced as a sadhana to enhance her internal powers, divine energies. And then when the time came, she used those divine energies to overcome the worst catastrophe that can happen to one. This is what everybody is supposed to do. That is objective of Atma Sadhana. That is what Yama taught to Nachiketas. So, this story establishes some fundamental facts, as I have just told you, that we are all spiritual beings and we can enhance our spiritual powers through sadhana, and using that enhanced spiritual powers, including our divine will, we can achieve what we want. Because this universe is created by the divine will. And in every being, the divine will is present in every form. It is only through the will anything can happen. Because it is the will that helps the thought. Mind is a thinking mechanism. What we think, we are acting upon. And it is a will that makes the thoughts to happen. If we think wrongly, we will do only wrong things. If we use the divine will wrongly, it will only result in bad things. But if we don't use the divine will at all, and we say we are bound by the fate, we are fools. That is why the saying says that fate is the last refuge of cowards. As I told you in the beginning, Vedas have told very clearly that is nothing like a fate engraved on a stone. In Yoga Vasishta, sage Vasishta tells Rama, don't believe in fate. There is nothing like fate. It is only your actions. It is only your will that is going to determine what you are going to be. Fate is a false term. We want to blame something for our inaction and we so blame it on fate. There is nothing like fate. You can overcome anything. This story is to bring out that esoteric truth of will overcome the fate. So let us all internalize this great truth, and for establishing this, we have to understand, and to implement it, we have to practice the enhancement of our divine energies on a regular basis. Then the whole world is within our control. There is nothing that cannot happen if we can exercise our divine will after enhancing our divine energies. May Lord Savithri bless us all with all prosperity. Om Rishabharudaya Namaha.